Boom! What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Kenny Parker Show. We do this every Tuesday and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just hit the microphone. It's back. Tuesday and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's good, y'all? Spook Realm 4Q, you are first in the building as usual. Please hit the like button, y'all. It helps the algorithm. I need to say that a couple times during the show. Somebody remind me in like 45 minutes, please. And pick up the book. My brother's name is Kenny. The link is in the description below. Okay. Let me make this a little bit bigger so I can see. Gregory Nettis, what up? Patrick Y, what up? Let's see if I can move quick today. I've been saying this for 2 years, but every week, I give it a try. Dre Stack Dollars, what up? Jack Swagger, what up? Um, G Doyle, half of the Doyle brothers is here. Dre Stack Dollars says, who remember how KRS used to end his songs with Fresh for 88, you suckers? Ha ha ha. Think Scott LaRock was the first person to do it, or the end of South Bronx. Think he said Fresh for 86, you suckers. Think that was Scott LaRock who started it off. And Chris just kept it going for all of these years. Ilroy, what's up? Uh, let's see. Latrice Washington, hey. What's up, Latrice? How are you doing today? Dan Marasuti, make this a little smaller now. I made it too big. I'll get it right. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on a Friday night. We're the family here. We do this every Friday, but it's summertime. It's nice. Here in the New York area today was beautiful. I know a lot of people are out and about. I can even check in the numbers that people are out and about during the summertime. But those of you that come through, and big up to the Rewind crew who's going to check this out later. Thank you for hanging out with us. I'm still recovering from my cold. Those that were checking this out on Tuesday, uh, still recovering. I feel a lot better than I did on Tuesday, but I'm still not 100%. Patrick Wise says, hey, KP, what do you think KRS' reaction would be if I walked up to him and said, what up, Larry? What's up, Larry? Either he would think you knew him from back in the 70s, or he would think you read the book. Sydney Rhodes, what up? Jack Swagger, what up? Mike Rocks, 25, what up? Benny Doyle says, I just saw a picture of Pearl Washington wearing pro Keds at Syracuse. He is the Brooklyn legend, RIP. He is the best player I've ever played against, I think, in my life. For those that read the book, I go into great detail about my meetings with Pearl Washington. Wish I had a chance to speak to him, as an adult. I only played against him. I don't know him, didn't know him, but what a New York legend and game-changing ball player. And shout out to Pro Kids, too. Floshi says, KP fashionably late. Yeah, normally I'm not late. I was messing around with my microphone. I have a cordless mic, wireless mic, connected to my shirt. And I didn't have the settings right at 8 o'clock. So, anyway, what's up? I had to get, matter of fact, I had to drink my water after that because I just did my whole show. when I'm on stage after I perform, I need my water. My show is 4 seconds long. My greatest hit. I need to add to my hits. It's things I say every week. Big up to the Rewind crew. I try to say multiple times in a show. I'm gonna add that to my album. Jack Swagger says, "How you feeling? You're sounding better. Thank you. Little better. Not all the way there, but getting there. This cold really wiped me out this week. Probably might have been the worst I've ever had in life. Like I had every cold symptom that there was. um, Benny Doyle is in the building. The other half of the Doyle brothers. Um, Kenneth Smith. Happy Friday. MK Ultra. That's part of my album too. Ghost Supreme's Clientele 2 came out today, I believe. I gotta check that out. Shout out to Nas for putting out all of these classic projects this year. He's really keeping that sound that we like alive and bringing the artists that we like to the forefront and giving them a real push and a real chance to be heard. So big up to Mass Appeal, big up to Nas, big up Ghostface, um, doing big things. Very appreciative coming from a person like me who enjoys the classic artists and a channel like this of people who enjoy the classic artists. You know, Nas doesn't have to be doing this, but he's doing it. I know it's a business, but for a guy like him, I know it's also a labor of love, and he's doing a great job. Let's see. Terrell McMillan, what's good, bro? Percy Miller. Is this Master P, Percy Miller? 313 in the house? Shout out Master P. I never met Master P or any of the No Limit Soldiers. When Mystical was on Jive Records, we did a couple of shows with him. We used to have these Jive showcases where all the groups from Jive would do a show together. Corey Flood said, Kenny, my woman left me, so all I have is time for you on YouTube. Thank you. I really appreciate you spending that time with us and the family here on the Kenny Parker Show. Your woman left you. That's tough. We've all been there. You'll be all right. But yes, thank you for hanging with us. Daynell the Don Freeman, what's up? Mr. Professor says, salute KP from Southwest Philly. The Kenny Parker Show is one of my favorite BDP joints ever, no cap. Thank you so much. One of my favorites too. I did a whole breakdown on this channel about how that song was made. I think I did it about 2 years ago. If you go back on this channel, I do a whole breakdown of that song, where the rhymes came from, the beat, everything. I think it's either the Love's Gonna Get You breakdown or it's the Kenny Parker Show breakdown. I forgot what it's called, but it's on this channel. Please check it out. I got a couple more breakdowns. I keep saying I'm gonna do them. I just haven't had a chance. I've been running around a lot this summer. I got a couple more breakdowns of songs and things that I worked on or I was there for. Uh, yeah. Benny Doyle says that Larry thing always makes me laugh. It's like calling Rakim Bill. Yeah, pretty much. Um, it sounds weird to me. Uh, Sydney Rhodes says, sounds like you got rid of the summer cold. Not a fish, not all the way rid. Still have to cough a little bit, but I'm on the road to recovery. Thank you. Uh, let's see. G. Doyle says, smash that like button. Yes. Uh, let's see. Sydney Rhodes says the 2026 Grammy for Song of the Year is Anyway. Congratulations, DJ Kenny Parker. Yes, I do believe you have to turn your song in by, it had to be released by October of that year. I've been saying this, how long have I been saying anyway? For at least a year, I think. Yeah, I've been saying this for a while. Well, we could call it a 2025 release, and it's out before October. Yeah, we're gonna say it came out this year. You know, the Grammys have weird. Well, the Grammys to me is a scam anyway, but they have weird criteria and moving goalposts. Uh, but I've had my Grammy rants. I like the Grammys more than my brother does, though. Speaking of my brother, hold on, let me looking up some other heads. Chef Daddy says Mass Appeal is definitely doing a lot for hip hop. Absolutely. Um, Sydney Rose says Eric Sermon is about to drop some heat soon. Hopefully, I can get him on this channel. Um, Red said not from Houston, but I rap a lot. Pack the gat a lot. The flav's about to drop. Remember how hard Flavor in Your Ear hit in '94? It hit New York. Well, that record went to, I believe, #1 in the country, and as a platinum single. That record brought the power balance back to the East Coast. Rest in peace, Craig Mack, my man. I met Craig Mack in 1990. This is 4 years before Flavor in Your Ear. I met him at Biz's house. Me, Craig Mack, and Biz sat in Biz's basement and listened to America's Most Wanted by Ice Cube when it first came out. Me, Biz, and Craig Mack were sitting there rocking out to that album. That's how I met Craig Mack. We did shows with him, everything, man. I just got to kick it with him. That was my man. I was mentioning KRS. His birthday was on the 20th, Wednesday. KRS turned the big 60. Uh, we talked for about 2 hours Wednesday, just about life and family stuff and hip hop. I mean, he was talking about how hungry he still is to be an MC, which is amazing. Um, he was talking to me about a new style that he wants to drop coming up. I'm like, yo, dude is 60 years old talking about a new style, but he lives for this, man. And by the way, I don't know, I'm give some information. I don't know if this is an exclusive or not. I don't know if anyone else has touched on this, but I got good confirmation that the album that people were talking about 3 weeks ago, a month ago. Remember when everybody was talking about the album with KRS, Kane, Rakim, and Cool G Rap, and everybody was saying, are they going to do it? They were talking about it on all the outlets, and people were asking me on this channel, was it true, blah, blah, blah. Well, according to KRS-One, it is a hoax. And I knew it was a hoax. And I said it on his channel before I talked to Chris. I said, this album is not happening. And people were telling me, even some of my friends were telling me, I don't know what I'm talking about, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, there's too many moving parts, man. Too many things have to line up in order for that album to come out. And if it is coming out, it would probably come out in like 2-3 years from now. And people were like, no way. Well, today is August 22nd, I believe. And Chris said that no one has spoken to him at all about doing that album. He said he found out about it online like everybody else. I don't know if any of the other artists involved have commented on this, but I am going to say it from my conversation that I had 2 days ago with the Blast Master, that that is not true. Not only is it not true, but these artists, a few of these artists that were mentioned, KRS, Kane, Rakim, Coogee Rap, have done shows together since this rumor started. And even you would think that somebody would say, well, hey, even though this is not true, since it's been put out there and it's been received kind of well, let us make it happen. No one has even had that conversation as of August 22nd, 2025. Now, things could change rapidly, but as of today, that is not happening. And we were talking about Mass Appeal. A company like Mass Appeal would be a great place for something like that to land, maybe, or, you know, get it together or whatever. But things could have changed in the past 2 days. But as of 2 days ago, I'm pretty sure that that is not happening. And if it is, they are just in discuss. No one's even had a discussion. They haven't even had a discussion amongst themselves. Crazy. So I don't know if any of the other artists have spoken on this, but I'm going to say it here on the Kenny Parker Show that as far as my information, which I think is reliable, that Mount Rushmore album is not happening. Let's see. Percy Miller says, thanks, KP, for doing it for the culture and longtime BDP fans. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, not only for the culture, but I am the culture and I love the culture. And I love just interacting, exchanging ideas and energy with the crew. And I am also one of the last members of BDP and a fan of BDP too. Let's see. Now I'm way behind, not way behind, but I'm considerably behind. MMA, Crossfire, what up? Let's see. Crusher Blackwell, do you have footage of BDP performing on Video Music Box? I don't have footage, probably be Ralph McDaniels. Excuse me. I've only performed. There's footage of BDP rocking at a place called the Powerhouse. It was a club called the Building, and the night was called the Powerhouse. But those that don't know, it was immortalized in I'm just hanging out. Main source said, tonight's the Powerhouse. He says, always the Powerhouse. Yeah, but it ain't never your house. Everybody was at the Powerhouse. BDP performed at the Powerhouse, and there's footage of that from Video Music Box. Trying to think if we ever performed them. I'm pretty sure there's BDP footage from before my time on Video Music Box. I know Chris did a couple of freestyles on there with Ralph. Shout out to Ralph McDaniels too. I went on his podcast and did an interview a couple years back for my book. He is a true hip hop historian and legend. Terrell McMillan, once again, thank you so much for your contribution to the channel. Says, damn, that's such a big letdown. LOL, Mount Rushmore would have been a bombshell. Yeah, it sounded great. Sounded great. And it could still happen. But as of August, today's August 22nd, as of August 20th, no one had contacted KRS about it. So maybe the other guys are doing something. Who knows? You can't believe nothing on the internet, man. It's kind of frustrating almost. It's like you can't believe anything you read. Jack Swagger says Flavor in Your Ear was bumping out of vehicles everywhere, up and down the East Coast. Yes, man. That record was absolute monster record. I remember being in a tunnel when that record would come on. Wow. So I remember that record came out and Juicy came out at the same time. And for a minute, like Craig Mack was the guy on Bad Boy. Juicy was hot, but it wasn't like Flavor in Your Ear. The guy, Craig Mack was the guy. Shout out to Easy Mo B on the production. And then Biggie's album dropped. And Jamil Live says, "What's up, Kenny? Did KRS ever appear on C-SPAN?" I'm pretty sure. I don't know for a fact, but he's been on every news channel that there is talking about hip hop and the state of things, so I'm pretty sure. Dartmouth says, "I don't trust mass appeal." Anyone else agree? Wow, what don't you trust about mass appeal? I don't know. I don't know the people behind the scenes. I don't really know Nas. I mean, he's cool when I see. I've seen Nas maybe 2 or 3 times. We just say, "Hey, what's up?" Respectfully. I've never had a conversation with him. But they are putting out nice projects and they're giving it a real chance. See, a lot of artists come out with music and most of the people don't even know it came out, not even their own fans. But Mass Appeal is putting things out in a way where you know it's coming. You don't trust them. I mean, maybe is it business wise? I don't know. Sydney Rose says, "Props to KRS for keeping the torch burning." Yeah. I was talking to him and he was sounding like he was 25, talking about the music. And breaking down MCing. We had a whole conversation. We talked for 2 hours. MMA says, "Happy birthday, Chef." The Chef Daddy, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Chef Daddy. Big up. Flochi One says, "You did call that one, Kenny." Thank you, Flochi One, because I do remember on this channel saying I don't think it's gonna happen. I got a little heat for that too. Um, but yeah, thank you, Flo. She wanted for a co-star for being a witness. Johnny Lee says, okay, the truth, but why is that not happening? Managers, agents, shaking my head. The culture has to suffer because of that. I don't think it's so much that. Well, it's a lot of factors. First of all, let's say they talked and they want to do it. What label is it going to come on, be sold on? What label is the album coming out on? That's a conversation. And you're talking money, publishing, points, splits. Is anyone else still signed to another label where you got to make a deal with them, or are artists independent? Just what label it's coming on, and the four artists, what's their individual situations is a whole conversation. And then the budget. How much are they going to spend on this project? That's another conversation. Then who's going to do the music? Are they going for the big name producers? Are they going to be looking for beats? Who's going to be picking the beats? Who's going to A&R the project? That's months of listening to music, picking beats that all four artists have to like. You're talking about people with completely different styles but have to agree. Then who's gonna be on what songs? Are all four artists gonna rap on all four records, each record, or is it gonna get broken up? These are all discussions. Are they gonna record all in the same place, like take out like a week or a month or whatever, taking this beat all in one place and write together? Or are they all just gonna be sending in verses back and forth while they continue to tour? These are all conversations. Um, I was saying that even if it was in the work, I think it would take years. What studio are they going to use? Like just to organize it like that would take forever. That's if it was going to get done. I don't even, these conversations weren't even had. The four artists didn't even speak. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I hate to break people's bubble, but Corey Flood says, I don't believe it's a hoax. They're telling us it ain't happening, but then it happens. They're really working on this in secret. I don't think so. The way Chris was talking to me about it was like someone put it out there someone was trying to do something else and just made up this story to try to get attention for something else. It was like a hoax. That's how Chris described it to me. Um, Unless the other people were talking about it. But as far as Chris was talking to me, it didn't sound like he was involved in it at all. He said he found out about it on the internet. That's a hoax. Now, if they're working in secret, and even he, because Chris doesn't even know I'm going to talk about this. I didn't tell him, oh, I'm going to talk about this in 2 days. I just thought about it just now. I said, I'm going to throw it out there, um, and see what's up. Now, maybe they will decide to do it, but hoax. John Lee says they need to make that happen for real. I mean, if people wanted to make it happen, it could happen. But like I said, a lot of conversation. It would take months of conversation just to say, okay, let's do it. Lawyers and like it's a lot of moving parts, y'all. Uh, let's see. Uh, People talking about Prince on here. Prince could play ball. Yeah, a lot of people say Prince could really play. Um, but he was like 5'4", 5'3". Unless he's strong like Muggsy, I don't know. Who should be in the Hall of Fame, by the way? Just because he was 5'2" and played like 12 years in the NBA and was a double figure scorer. That's incredible. 5'2" is short for the WNBA. If you're 5'2", you probably don't make the WNBA. There's probably been like 2 players or 3 in the history of women's basketball that made it at 5'2". He made it in the NBA. KB Play, personal opinion, De La Soul is Dead is better than 3 Feet High and Rising. I can hear that argument, although I hold 3 Feet High and Rising to the highest of highest standards because of what it did for the game. But I also love De La Soul is Dead. You can make that argument on a not on an impact level, but on a musical level. Yes, I can hear that. I don't like the word better, but we'll use the word better. Dre Stack Dollars, Easy Mo B made some Pac joints. I think Easy Mo B is the only person to produce Biggie and Pac while they were alive. Rosmel says Flavor in Your Ear elevated Biggie. I don't know. Juicy was a gold single too. By the time Flavor in Your Ear came out, Biggie's album was already out. Big Papa was out and everything. I mean, it probably, I don't know if it elevated, it probably gave us another Biggie verse that was ridiculous. Elevated. I'd have to re-examine that one. Kara Vine said Juicy came a little later. They were on tour. I remember they were on tour together. Was it Big Mac? The Big Mac tour? And both of their singles were really out. I think Flavor in Your Ear might have came out slightly ahead of Juicy, but they both really were out at the same time. Because I remember they were on tour together, the Big Mac tour, and they both had those singles. Juicy could have been maybe a month, weeks later. If I recall, I could be wrong. I remember, I don't know if I told this story. I didn't really care for Juicy. Thought it was all right when it first came out. But then I heard on the radio a song that was on the B side of Juicy called Unbelievable, produced by my brother, DJ Premier. And when I heard that record, I went crazy. And I said, I'm going up to Bad Boy to get this record. And I went up to Bad Boy and I saw Stretch Armstrong, the legendary Stretch Armstrong and Bobito's show, Stretch Armstrong. And they gave us Bad Boy stuff. They gave me 2 copies of Juicy with Unbelievable on the back. So I remember me and Stretch Armstrong was sitting in the lobby of Bad Boy just talking, holding the records. We were just talking, and Puffy comes in the lobby. And he sees us sitting there, and he goes, why y'all sitting there? They didn't give you the record? They didn't give you the record? And we was like, oh, nah, they gave it to us. We were just sitting here talking. And he was like, oh, like that. Then he said, what's up, or whatever. And I was like, woo, boy. Whoever was in charge of promotions Had DJs sitting in the lobby and couldn't get that record, they was in big trouble because Puffy's whole face was, he couldn't believe there was DJs that he knew sitting in the lobby waiting. Yo, he was about to lose it. I don't know if I told that story on this channel, but I just thought about that. CMC's Techniques in Class, once again, thank you so much for your contribution every week to the channel, to the whole experience. You are a top family member. Speaking of De La, I mentioned Common being a possible member. I forgot how much of a dope role Shortie No Mas was in their mid-90s with them. Yeah, we talked about that on Tuesday, I believe. She rhymed. Did she rhyme on Ego Trippin'? She rhymed on a couple records on Balloon Mind State, and she was even on I Am IB, my favorite record on the album. I Am Shorty, IB 411. I Am Q-Tip, IB Friction. um, and then she never came out. Like, I think she might have come out. I don't remember her coming out with any singles. I don't remember. She might have come out, but it didn't come in my radar. So I don't know if she came out or not, but it was like she was set to come and she didn't come out. In that song, I Am I B, Pa says something like, he was reflecting and he said, some people said we'd be native forever, and now we don't even speak. And I always thought about that line, like he said they'd be native forever, now they don't even speak. And I saw Paz and I asked him, who was he talking about? I'm such a native tongue head that I be hanging on all the words to the songs. And I asked him, I'm like, who were you talking about in that rhyme? And he told me, I'm not going to say the name of the person, but he told me the person he was talking about, who they said they were going to be native for life, and now they don't even speak. But yeah, shout out to Shortie No Mas. Never got to meet her, but she was bubbling for a second. Mike Rocks 25, thank you so much for your contribution to the channel. It is much appreciated. Thank you so much. Says, shout out to our chat. The DJ KP show is the best. Excuse me. Thank you so much. Yeah, shout out to the whole family. Please hit the like button if you get a chance. It helps the algorithm. I'm glad I remembered that. Big up to the Rewind crew who's going to check this out later. And thank you once again, Mike Rocks 25. Yes, this is the best, man. That's why I want to get more people who like this kind of talk to come on board. Let's see. Crusher says, since Miss Melody only put out one album back in 1989, does she have any unreleased material? I don't know if there is. Only Chris produced that album. He would know, or maybe DJ Doc, who I've yet to have on the show. Excuse me. It's another thing, funny thing in this conversation that I was having with my brother on Wednesday. He was talking about someone wanted to do a compilation of his greatest hits. And he was saying how it's so different now because a lot of the new generation don't really know his songs like that. They only know like a couple songs. And a greatest hits for him might be new to a lot of people. And we were really digging into that. And I was saying that what is really his signature songs. And I was saying that Sound of the Police, we were talking about that song, and I was saying that is one of his top 2 or 3 signature songs. And then he said to me, no, that is my signature song. Sound of the Police is the KRS signature song. And we started talking about that. And I was like, he said it's in 4 movies. And he mentioned some other places where it got placed. And I was thinking about that because I was like, well, if you look at people who's been down with BDP for 35 years, right? We would know Criminal Minded album and By All Means Necessary and all that, Jack of Spades, Love's Gonna Get You. We would know all of these songs and we would pick from that batch. But anybody who knows those songs also knows the Sound of the Police. Now, people that's 25, you're 25 or 30 years old, that means you was born in like 95, or that's, if you're born in 95, you're 30. So that means you was born in 2000. If you was born in 2000-ish, if you're like between 25 and 30 and under, you would really know Step Into a World and Sound of the Police would be like his 2 biggest records. And we were really just talking about that, just having conversation. And he was saying, in his opinion, Sound of the Police is his signature song. I wonder if you people agree with that. But the more I think about it, that might be the song with that hook that is most noticeable, that is most memorable. I'm just thinking of some of the conversation that we had, and I'm just bringing it to you guys uh, as I remember. I hope you enjoy it. Sydney Rhodes, what up? What are some of your favorite reggae songs? Oh man, thank you so much for your contribution. Oh man, well they're all old. First of all, I'm gonna take Bob Marley out of the equation. Let's remove Bob because his catalog is. I mean, we're just gonna talk dance hall. No Bob. I gotta go. That's, you said some of my favorites. Okay, that means because I can go from Past the Dutchie on the left hand side. That was 82. Love that song. I love Telephone Love when that came out. That 88, 89, there was an era right there where there was a lot of bangers. Telephone Love, Sorry, Life Is What You Make It. There's quite a few songs. Barrington Levy had a couple in that era I loved. Then Shaba came. I love Roots and Culture. That might be right at the top. That might be my #1 dance hall song of all time, Roots and Culture. Murderer. Um, I'm just trying to think of songs that over the years I found myself listening to a lot. Um, I love Supercat, but I don't know if I have one Supercat record. I like a bunch. You remember the song, If Your Crutches Never Fear You Yet? I'm not gonna sing the other part. I love that song. That was big in the party. Oh man. And I'm missing No, No, No. Big. And then there was like a little lull. There was like a lull in dance hall. And then in like the late 90s, early 2000s, like groups like TOK had a couple that I loved. Oh man, I could just go on and on. That's a hard question right there. I'd have to go in my reggae playlist and really tell you like my top ones. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. TOK I liked a lot. Um, Elephant Man had a couple. Like I could just, it's crazy. I even liked Rompin' Shop a lot. I liked Rompin' Shop a lot. My range is all over the place. I really wish I would really take out more time to really answer that question, but I'm gonna move on. But that's a great question. I love that question. CMC's technique in class. Thank you once again. Says Shorty No Mas EP, Here Goes Nothing, released December 17th, 2021. That's the other day. Here Goes Nothing. I like that title. I did not know that. I'd have to, I'm going to look that up when we get off of here because I'm curious to see. We're talking 25 years later, almost 30 years from the hype of Shorty No Mas. I'm gonna go back and check. I'm gonna go check that out. Thank you. I had no idea that came out. And I'm behind now, so let me just jump a little bit. The Benny Doyle scroll down is in effect. Beyond the Matrix. KP, I received your book yesterday. Thank you so much for purchasing the book. The link is in the description below. Says, and I'm halfway through. So you've been halfway through since yesterday. Dope. Your story is absolutely amazing in more ways than one. Thank you for sharing your experiences. I can relate on some levels. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the story. If you're halfway through, all I can say is hold on to your seat because there's a lot that's going to happen in that other half. Thank you so much for purchasing the book. Let's see. Jack Swagger says, KP, I think if they blessed us with one track produced by Primo, people would be satisfied, LOL, or perhaps not. Well, remember we got that record Classic with, who was on it? Nas, Rakim, KRS, Kanye. That was the closest we came to it. That was in like, what, when was that? 010 maybe? 2010? I don't know if people would be satisfied because if it's banging, then you'd want more. Everybody would want more. Like, why would you not do more if that one is banging? I would imagine that Preem would be one of the top producers on that project, but who knows? That would be very interesting. You're right, Jack Swagger. They should maybe start out with a teaser, see how it goes. G. Doyle says, nah, man, I truly believe it's a hoax. And if it really was to happen, I would chalk it all up to AI production. Yeah, AI can make it happen instantaneously, right? AI could make that album. If you put that in the algorithm, AI could probably come out with at least a song. Terrell says that definitely needs to happen. Give hip hop one hell of a push. Yeah, that would be dope, but it would have to be dope. See, the pressure on that project, it would really have to be dope, man. It would really have to be dope. I don't know if I would put all 4 MCs on each song. I would break it up into threes. 3 MCs per song. And maybe each MC might get there's a solo song, maybe. Who knows? I wouldn't have all 4 on one song, but I would have them all over, each one all over each other's stuff. Patrick Wise says, once again, there will be another MJ before we ever see another Muggsy. I mean, that's a great analysis. Because we got close to an MJ with Kobe. Kobe was right there. Who was right there with Muggsy? The next shortest person we can remember as being was like 5'8". I mean, Spud Webb was 5'8" with like a 42-inch vertical. And I don't even think he played as many years as Muggsy, but he was like 5'8". Chris Paul looks under 6 feet to me. They have him, I think he's listed at 6 feet. I don't know about that, but these guys are nowhere in the league as 5'2". Yeah, I just don't see it happening. And they used to say back in the day that teams would throw off their whole offensive rhythm because they would think that posting up Muggsy, whoever Muggsy is guarding, let's post him up, which could be effective, but it would throw off their whole team offense. Yeah, Muggsy was pretty amazing. Riz says Balloon Mind State underrated album. Absolutely, it was. Oh, damn, I'm way behind, y'all. I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna jump. I hate this. I say it every week, and I have to do it every week. But here I go. I'm scrolling all the way down to here. I'm gonna jump in right here. Benny Doyle says he's forever scrolling. I am Benny Doyle because I'll stop and talk for 2 minutes on a subject and then I'll look and see 34 comments since I started talking and I was already behind. So just to try to keep up, I have to jump around. I don't enjoy it because I like to, I miss good comments and good things to talk about, but it is what it is. Yeah, MMA. Shorty had a lot of buzz after her stuff on Balloon Mind State. Yeah, and she had a very interesting voice. Um, I could see her doing something. I don't know. Plus, if she had that production, if De La and Prince Paul was gonna produce her, when Prince Paul was on this channel, I know all of you guys seen the interview. I wish I had to remember that I would have asked him about Shorty No Mas, what happened. MMA says Chuck D has a picture with Kenny's book. Yes. One of my heroes, uh, Public Enemy #1, Chuck D, uh, bought my book and loved it and took a picture and posted it on his page. Oh, I almost fainted when I saw that. I almost passed out. The fact that Chuck D read my book is incredible. Patrick Wise says that is a hard book to put down. Once you start reading it, you can't stop. Facts. Thank you, Patrick Wise. I really appreciate it. Live with Deacon Strange. Yeah, Deacon Strange. How about next Saturday? I'm gonna hit you. I don't know if you're working next Saturday. Says Barris. Barris. I like Barris. Jack Swagger says the BDP story is a straight miracle. Yes, it is. It is. Tribe of Gag says, when is the KRS-One Rakim, Kane, and G-Rap album release date? I don't know if you just checked in, but I'll just say I'm not sure. As of right now, there is no release date. I see MMA mentions Cutie Pie. I don't see her comment, but Cutie Pie, you in the building? What's up? Uh, Anathema, what's up? Says KP, although you have written an autobiography per se, yeah, it is kind of, yeah, per se. I like that. Who would you want to write your biography? Ah, I don't know. Malcolm Gladwell? I don't know. Somebody who does investigative journalism. I just want it to be accurate. G. Doyle says KP coughing like someone just passed him duck sheep on the left hand side. Yes, mine. Should I do my Shaba impersonation on here that y'all say is whack? I'm gonna do it now just because I thought about it. Last time I saw Shaba Ranks, he said, "Where's your brother? Where your brother?" Is my impersonation whack or no? Mhm. KB Play. KRS helped to pioneer two subgenres, gangster or street and conscious rap, and battle rap. Three genres he helped pioneer. Three separate genres he was right at the forefront of. He doesn't get enough credit for that, but is one of the most original MCs ever. This is a name I could not remember. Earl Boykins was 5'5". I've seen Earl Boykins get hot. I've seen Boykins come with like 25 points in like 20 minutes. Earl Boykins. Where's Earl Boykins at? Earl Boykins, if anybody knows Earl Boykins, can you tell him that we said what's up on the Kenny Parker show? That dude could get hot quick and you could do nothing to stop him. He was different than Muggsy, but even at 5'5", that's the closest we got. Yeah, that's the closest we got was Earl Boykins. Patrick Wise says Ron Harper was actually closer in style to MJ before the injuries. Sort of, yeah. People forgot that Ron Harper was a big time scorer on Cleveland. Then he came to the Bulls and the Lakers won championships, changed his whole style to fit into a championship team. Big up Ron Harper. Corey Flood said Nate Robinson was kind of there with Muggsy. Nate Robinson was like 5'9", another slam dunk champion. Two of the guys who were 5'9" or 5'8", 5'9" were slam dunk champions. And even 5'9" towers over 5'2". Sidney Rhodes says Earl Boykins was about 5'4". I thought he was like 5'5", 5'6", but even still, I think he would be the closest. Gregory Nettis says Little Kim is 4'11". Yeah, I've stood next to Little Kim once. I've never met her, but I walked past her a couple of times. She is very small. Jack Swagger says I'm 6'2" and feel super short around NBA players. Yeah, the average height of the NBA is 6'7". Excuse me. The average height of an NBA player is 6'7", average. So yeah, you are small. Steph Curry looks like a little dude out there. He's 6'3", 6'2", 6'3". Um, Let's see, let's see, let's see. Um, Cutie Pie says, KP, do you ever go back to after a live and read all the comments you missed? Sometimes I'll do. Yeah, if I have time, I'll go back and I'll just look. See a lot of shenanigans on there. Um, Once in a while, I'll see something that I'll be like, damn, I wish I had a saw that. I would have commented on that. Yes, I do. Um, let's see. CFC says, congratulations for the GOAT, Chuck D, for getting your book. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Dre Stack Dollar says, not to count pockets, KP. However, how much was one custom BDP made by Dap's outfit cost the hat and jackets, pants? I'm not sure what the price was in the 80s. In the early 80s, like the outfits they wore on the Criminal Minded album was Dapper Dan, the suits that Chris wore and By All Means Necessary, and my philosophy video that everybody had the BDP suits, that was all Dapper Dan. Um, the Jack of Spades outfits was crazy. I'm not sure if that's Dapper Dan, but I think a couple G's. I know I had a yellow BDP suit, leather, all yellow, for the Ghetto Music Tour. It was fitted uh, jumpsuit, a leather yellow jumpsuit with green and red BDP on it. That cost $2,000. That was in '89. $2,000 in '89 is probably like $6,000 right now. Um, Miss Melody, speaking of Miss Melody, I remember in her video live on stage, she wears like a big hat. It's like a custom made hat, look like a crown, but it's leather. That hat was $2,000. I remember them talking about that. She spent 2 G's on a hat. But you look at like those Jack of Spades, they all had on the outfits. They probably spent 10, 12,000. I don't know if he gave him a deal because I'm getting like 4 or 5 of them, but crazy expensive. That'd be a great question to ask Chris. By the way, I'm gonna remember that. Mike Rocks 25 says one of the dopest interviews outside of Heather B was Kid Capri. Yeah, shout out to the Kid Capri. I know KRS will shut down our DJ KP show when he comes on. Yeah, I am hoping for that soon. Um, I have so much to talk to him about on this channel. Uh, I want to ask him stuff that I don't think anyone else has asked him. Some of the stuff y'all talk about, but other stuff I want to really get to the bottom of some stuff. Um, Spook Realm says Stephen King to write my biography. Well, a lot of my life, especially my early childhood, was like a horror movie. So yeah, I could see Stephen King writing that. Let's see. G Benny Doyle says, G Doyle, you brought the Shaba out of Kenny tonight. Yes, my Shaba impersonation. Patrick Wise says, we your brother. Then we your brother then. Oh. Cutie Pie says, first time hearing your impersonation. I personally think, should I add this to my album? To my greatest hits album? Uh-oh. My shop impersonation might be a song added to my show. My show is getting thick. My show might be 15 seconds by now. Bill Blass says Shaba hasn't dropped a new album in 30 years, which is a shame because he's one of the greats, man. JT says, yes, I say where's your brother all the time in KP's Shaba voice. Thank you. Benny Dawes, he keeps on saying Boykins. It's not Boykins, Earl Boykins. Boykins. It's Boykins? I'm saying it wrong? I probably am saying it wrong. BDP merged hip hop and reggae authentically early in the game. Yes, another style that KRS-One was at the forefront of. KRS-One was at the forefront of like 5 different styles that became staples in hip hop. He's at the forefront of like 5 or 6 of them. That's why I say when you talk about goats, there's a handful of people. I always say there's a handful of people that were great at a certain thing. I think KRS, his legacy is his styles and his ability on stage to his stage presence and delivery, I think is the best. Sidney Royals, I played with Earl Boykins years ago. He played at East Michigan from Cleveland. Is Boykins? I'm saying Boykins. Boykins, man. I'm saying Boykins unless Earl Boykins comes on the show. That's dope. You got to play with him, against him. Mike Rock says, hold on. Wait, didn't Nate Robinson win a dunk contest? Yes. He jumped over the car, right? Whoa, this is crazy. Harper got traded for Danny Ferry. I did not know that. A straight up one-on-one trade? Wow. Wow. That's a tough trade. Benny Doe, he keeps saying it, 509, my eyes are watering from laughing. It's Boykins. Boink. Boykins. It's the Cole. G Doyle says, I'm a super huge fan of battle rap and would love to see KRS-One jump in there. Let's make it happen. That would be very interesting. And KRS sits and watch these battle rap tapes. He sits there and studies these tapes. I've seen him sit and just watch battle rap tapes from back in the day. This is years ago, but he used to sit there and just watch them. He loves the art, man. Let's see. Um, Mike 25 says, we're actually in the Steph Curry era. Are we? I mean, there's a few eras that's overlapping. I mean, are we ending of the Curry, KD, LeBron? Are we ending that era? Is that era still going on? Are we in the Joker era right now? It's a good question. Steph Curry actually changed the game too. He is truly the greatest shooter of all time. I was fighting that for a long time. I was like, man, come on. Of all time, I know he's great, but of all time, but I've watched him over the past years. In my opinion, Steph Curry is the greatest jump shooter of all time. Yes. Um, Jack Swagger says gas was $1 in 1989, but Kenny's jacket was 2K. Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't even a jacket, it was a jumpsuit. I heard it. I didn't pay for it, but um, KRS spent a lot of money on those suits for not just him, but the whole crew. But yeah, my jumpsuit was 2 G's. I wore it like 3 or 4 times. I don't even know where it is now. Uh, Theo Sanders, hey Kenny, what's up? Is Chris aware of your YouTube channel? Yes. Do you know if he watches? He's watched some of the epic fails. He definitely watched the PM Dawn one, but he doesn't be on YouTube like that. But he definitely saw the PM Dawn one. Yes, he's absolutely aware of the YouTube channel. Uh, MK Ultra says Shabba took some heat from the LGBTQ community. He took more than some heat. He basically got canceled. All right, I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. I'm at the very bottom. Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm at the very bottom. Let's see. MK Ultra says KRS in the short movie Save the Studio was fire. Yeah, I was around when he was recording some of that. Def Rocker says I hate the Curry and Magic comparison. Comparison is they compare Curry and Magic? That's like night and day. Patrick Wise says Steph is only considered the greatest shooter because he is given a green light to take 30-foot shots. KP, you know the coach would have a seat ready for you if any player took a 30-foot shot. Yes, in our era, the three-point shot wasn't even a weapon like that. Most of my basketball career was played before the three-point shot was even implemented. Um, it's that old adage, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Is Steph Curry a great three-point shooter because he was given the green light to shoot 30-footers? Or did he get the green light to shoot 30-footers because he was the greatest shooter ever? I think if a guy makes enough 30-footers, you got to start saying that's his shot. He has the green light to take 30-foot shots, but I think Steph Curry shooting a 30-foot shot is like a 40% shot. That's a good percentage. Um, I think he is. I just think for what I've seen, I think he's the best. The way he gets his shot off, he's not just a catch the ball shooter, a pass and catch shooter. He can pass and catch. He can shoot off the dribble. He can shoot coming off of screens, all equally well. He can shoot from the right side, coming off right, coming off left. Ridiculous. 25 feet, 30 feet, pump fakes, step backs. He has the whole arsenal. He's mastered every arsenal of shooting. Ed Olivier says, what happened to Shelly Thunder? Big up Shelly Thunder. Coof. She's a member. She's a good friend of BDP. I know Chris produced some songs for her. I was in the studio when Chris was producing some songs for her back in. When was the last time I saw Shelly Thunder? Had to be like 98, 99. I saw Shelly Thunder in like 98. It's the last time I saw her. Hope she's doing well. Ray says Buju and Sizzler got banned in LA for LGBTW in the 90s. I know Buju got canceled. Shaba got canceled. I don't know who else. I didn't know Sizzler, but Reed Buffy says, I would love to see Shaba in concert. I saw Sister Nancy. It was dope. I would love to see Sister Nancy. We did a couple of tours with Shaba, so I've seen Shaba in concert many times. Dope, dope live performer. Jack Swagger said, if you took a 30-foot shot during warm-up, you'd be asked to take a seat. Absolutely. In our day, if you took a 30-foot shot in a warm-up, the coach would be like, what are you doing? You're not taking the game serious. But NBA teams in the 80s, 90s would take under 10 three-pointers in a game. Now, one person could take 12 or 15. Philly She says, for all the great shooting Steph does, he has no game tying or winning shots in his entire career. How does that happen? I don't know about that, Philly She, because I've seen highlights with Mike Breen screaming, bang, bang, Steph Curry, bang. So I've seen him hit some game winners. This is my sentiment, kind of. The NBA is corny now. Everybody wants to put up threes, even centers. I agree. I don't enjoy today's basketball. Kennard Roberts says, ripping the microphone till I'm mother after 60. KRS said that in Mad Ism. We talked about that the other day, too. We laughed about that. Mix me, somebody. He said, mix me, somebody get me. Ripping the microphone till I'm 60. Don't make me rip out my clothes, Bill Bixby, something like that. Yeah, he sounded to me like he has no intentions of slowing down. This is the whole thing, Patrick. Why? Analytics has come into this era where they think it's better to take 35% three-point shots than 50% two-point shots. Well, it is math-wise. Guys like Rick Barry, Dale Ellis, Freddie Brown, Tim Legler, Mark Price, and others. Yeah. They only want layups and three-pointers. An 18-foot jump shot is a horrible shot right now. They don't like the mid-range. It's a whole different game. It's like a remix of basketball that we know. MMA says you would see an entire NBA game with 0 three-point shots. Yes. You could watch an entire game without any three-point shots. I was watching JJ Redick's podcast, and he was talking about he was watching an old game, and he couldn't believe the spacing. It looked crazy to him. And I went and now when I look at all highlights, I look at that. Everybody's in the paint. There's nowhere to go. If you look at basketball from 20, 25 years ago, there's two centers in the paint. There's a center and a power forward, and their defensive players. The guards are a little bit out. It was almost impossible to get to the rim back then. And they still wouldn't shoot a three-pointer. And it was so tight, the spacing. The mid-range was everything. Or the post-up. But you're right. It's a whole different game, man. Uh, um, City Rose says, watching regular season NBA is almost a waste of time. Sadly, I agree with you. And then if you do cut it on, you might get somebody resting too. So you pay your money and you get your fly outfit and all that. You go down to a game, your favorite player might just be sitting out for no reason. Load management. Um, Never Ed Official says, yo, KP, how do you feel about the Buck Wild remix of Mad Ism? Personally, I like that one a bit more, but the OG still slaps. I'm down with the OG. I like the remix, but the OG is just sticks in my mind. Spook Realm says, I can picture KRS-One on stage in a wheelchair and a breathing apparatus years from now. Me too. MK Ultra says, Heather B got your poster and your BDP jumpsuit, man. She probably does. She probably did steal it. Patrick Wise says, KP, you know today there is no power forward. It's a stretch four now. Yeah, there's no such thing as a power forward. It's really positionless basketball. There's no such thing as any position. Anybody could bring it up. Anybody could shoot the three. Anybody could pop in the corner. Anybody could set a pick for anybody. You're right. There's no positions. It's stretch four. Power forward. That word is gone. Small forward. Cutie Pie says, I want a BDP jumpsuit. You can have one, Cutie Pie, 2 Gs. I don't know how much Dapper Dan would charge now, like 5. All leather. You get fitted, you get it designed the way you want, from head to toe. 2 Gs, Cutie Pie. Let's see. MMA says the Page WNBA player on fire right now. Yes. Big up Paige Beck is one of my favorite players in the league. Paige Buckets is a rookie. I think she's going to go down as possibly the best guard ever. And that's saying a lot with a player like Taurasi around. Never Ed Official says, did you get a chance to peep Supreme Clientele 2? Not yet. I heard the one, I saw the video. I saw the video that they put out with, he used the Eric B. and Rakim beat. And then I saw, there's a video with him with MOP. But I haven't had a chance to listen to everything. Dartmouth says basketball was played without a three-point line for 90 years before it was invented in 1980, silly. That is true. Um, Actually, it was not invented in 1980. The ABA was using the 3-point line in the 70s, I believe. I think the NBA incorporated it maybe around 80, but in college, the 3-point line was not brought into college officially for everyone until I believe 1986 season, 86, 87 season. The 1986-87 season is when I believe the three-pointer came into play as a rule for everyone. Um, wow, Philly Sheet says the album shouldn't be called Supreme Clientele 2. It doesn't live up to the original at all. Wow. Well, I mean, there's no way it could live up to the original. I mean, just a different era. Let's hope it's solid. Mike Rocks, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. DJ KP, let's turn tonight into a super show and take it to 11. Wow. I would love to, but I can't. I have stuff I have to do. Um, Working on some stuff on the computer, and I'm start right after I get off. So I can't take it to 11, but maybe Tuesday. Maybe Tuesday. 11 is a long time, but maybe I'll take it to 10 on Tuesday. We'll see. Thank you for your contribution to the channel. Benny Doyle says PM Dawn shirt for sale. Any interest? Anyone? I used to like Die Without You on the Boomerang soundtrack. I thought that was a dope record from PM Dawn. Yeah. I don't know if anybody will buy that shirt though. Maybe. Not on this channel, but there's an audience. Is it an original? Um, let's see. Ned Official says yes. SC2 seems rushed. Mix master is bad. A few dope joints. There are some great old school tribute records on there though. You like beatbox, Kenny? I'll check it out. I'm definitely gonna check it out. See, I don't think people should listen to albums as the sequel to an album from 30 something years ago. I think you should listen to is it good now? It's very hard to recapture the magic of 30 years ago because the whole world was different. Your ear was different. All right, we're at 9:30. I'm gonna look at a couple more comments and then I'm gonna jump off. Almost past KP bedtime. That is true. I'm usually in the bed early and up early in the morning. Um, Gregory Nellis says Kenny needs his pajamas first. Yes. For 11 o'clock. Yeah. Um, let's see. Wee Buffy says Kenny Parker show tease. That would be dope. I need to work on that. That was a joke, Kenny. There's no such thing as a PM Dawn shirt. I know. Or a place for it in the Boogie Down realm. No, there's a place for everything. And he passed away, so we're talking about Prince B. Uh and I know it was a joke, but I'm just saying if there was a PM Dawn shirt, I mean, an original PM Dawn shirt from Set Adrift of Memory Bliss, you might fetch something for that. Imagine if KRS came on stage with a PM Dawn shirt. That'd be dope. City Rose says, anybody have pajamas with the feet at the bottom? Yes, but we outgrew them, so my mother cut the feet out. I remember that. Betty Doyle says, all right, he passed away, so I respect, but you know what it is. I know what it is. But big up to Prince B and PM Dawn. Tampa Bay says, I want a KRS-One signed PM Dawn shirt. That would be dope. That would be dope. All right, y'all, I'm about to wind down. For those that's just checking in, this is the Kenny Parker Show. We do this every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. God willing, I will be here this Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please hit the like button if you get a chance. It helps the algorithm. Big up to the Rewind crew who's going to check this out later on. I am Brattle says, thanks for powering through your cold, KP. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a rough week, but I'm pushing through. Cutie Pie says, how about some stickers? Yeah, all that would be dope. Spook Realm says, assault that like if you haven't. Yes, please assault the like button. Yeah, I'll catch you guys on Tuesday. Yeah, because today is Friday. I got my days mixed up. Yeah, I'm out. Got some work to do on the computer. You guys have a fantastic weekend. And I'll catch you guys later. Let's see, wait, let me make it small. And I am gone. Peace.